it's not necessarily stigma with the general population. They just don't know about HIV, and they're still in the 80s, which was good because it was good for prevention, but people still remember those people dying in the hospital wards with rashes, emaciated and all this kind of stuff, and associated with certain lifestyles and things like that. But usually when we go into schools, we don't have a bad reception. We've never had one person, one child or young person say anything. And if they do, by the end of the session, they're shaking the person's hand. So actually, young people are a credit. That's what we find. Young people, because they're a bit of a sponge and they take in the information, are far better than adults, because they don't remember the 80s as well. Adults, on the other hand, are a little bit harder to get through to. There is a bigger increase at the moment of particularly women, white British women, that I think is going to start coming through, and starting to 35 plus, because in the 1970s they were worried about contraceptive. That came out. In the 80s they got married, and HIV, yes, it was there and everybody was scared of it, but it wasn't really relevant to them. They got married, had young kids, and lived in a small town in South Yorkshire. Kids have got older now and things, and divorces are happening. Well, they're over 35, so they don't think they can get pregnant anymore. Independence, go back out, don't necessarily think about that. And so we're getting white British women coming through. So it's trying to work out how to get to them. And it's very difficult. Our oldest client is a 70-year-old white British woman who became positive 5 years ago. So it's trying to work out how to hit them. There's the pubs and clubs, but people don't always want to listen to what you would be saying. They're on a night out, it's a bit over their head, so it's just not relevant when they're having a good time drinking. So that's why we're trying to work out ways we can get also to the older 16-year-olds and 25-year-olds, which is why we're trying to get the neat young people as well, because we're missing a whole group who aren't in education. So there's going to Youth Start and places like that, and those that are a bit for the older young people. But no, it's one of the areas that we're trying to work out how to do it. You could be HIV positive for 10 years and not know. Well, how many men, older men, white British men will say, oh, I haven't had to go to the doctors for 20 years. It's a kind of a thing. They're not going to come into contact. You'll see that women are said to be hit harder by HIV, but women access health service more. You get pregnant, so you get tested when you're pregnant. You have gynecological tests, smears, and from smears you can pick up certain cancers associated with HIV. It's a bit like weighing up the fact, actually, is it just more tests are being done in that community, or is it actually here? It is a big problem within the gay men community, it is. And it is a large problem within the Black African community. However, it is also within the heterosexual community, but they don't always find out.